Good morning, YouTube land. Steve here with Mostly Snakes from the nice and temperate Alabama, where they have always told me if you move to Alabama, warm weather, warm weather. It's in the south, warm weather. 21 degrees this morning. Now, granted, I'm not at my home state of Pennsylvania where they got 11 inches of snow last night. So, with that said, we are going to revisit the beloved category of snake mites. I've done a couple videos with this, and I've gone through several different tactics to deal with snake mites. And if you've raised snakes long enough, you're going to deal with this at some point in time. We're going to discuss each and every one. This is going to be a rather longer video, so if you're on a smoke break, you've got 5 minutes, you might want to wait till lunch, okay? So, let's go ahead and get started. The snake mites are a parasitic insect. They get on your snakes. They feed off of their blood, hence parasitic. They are just little pinhead size. Little black specks that you might find in your substrate or even in your water. If a snake will start having some mite issues, it's going to want to soak in the water. When you check your water, you're going to have little black specks in it. Those are snake mites, and they are a pain in the ass. I hate them. But it's something we have to deal with. I might have stated before, I've been raising snakes since 1995. I've dealt with this issue quite a bit, and I've gone through several different methods. So what we're going to discuss today is the different methods and kind of the success rate that I've had with it. One of my previous videos, we talked about the no pest strip inside the little Dixie cup. Works really good. However, the snake mites do travel. They are they'll expand like wildfires. And with that said, prayers and thoughts go out to the families out in California dealing with the wildfires and mudslides and everything. It's a horrible situation, so our prayers are out for you. All right, getting back to that, these little pest strips, they work great. You put them in the enclosure after you remove the water, and it took care of the problem. And it's really good if you treat everything, which you should anyway. I've gone through different stages in snake raising that, I see mites in this cage, I'm going to treat this cage. I learned the hard way, all right? Next thing you know, you got them in this cage, and then you got them in this cage. So if you're going to do this way here, I recommend getting everything done. You leave the Dixie cup in there with the pest strip for about 4 or 5 days. Remove all the substrate, clean the entire cage, remove the snake, replenish all the substrate, put fresh water in, and that's after you have washed everything and scrubbed everything out, and then put your snake back in. You'll have to do it again in 2 weeks. So a viable option. I had a good friend of mine recommend that, and he uses that method exclusively, and it works for him. With that said, these methods may or may not work for you. I have found what works for me. It is an old school method, and we'll get to that in a minute. This right here is Nix. This is for treatment of head lice. I've had some people tell me to use this. I did try it one time. I'm not real comfortable with the chemical input on the snakes. So that method there did not last very long. Not to mention, I didn't have very good success with it. So, next one. We have the Permethrin 2, which I watched a video with Gary Hartle of Reach Out Reptiles. Absolutely phenomenal guy. I've never met him in person, but I have subscribed to his channel, and I tell you what, he is very, very knowledgeable. And he is here just to help us out. So he is a super dwarf and dwarf breeder up in Pennsylvania, I believe. Gary, if you're watching this, love your channel, dude. Keep it up. But he recommended this here. He actually give you a tutorial on how to use it. Again, it is a treatment and then 2 weeks later, a treatment again because of the life cycle of the snake mite. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, just about every channel that you go to is going to say prevent a mite. You take the snake out, you take the water out, you clean the enclosure or the tub, and you spray this down. It leaves a residual, which is supposed to help with future infestations. You do have to do it again in 2 weeks due to the life cycle. I'm here to tell you, I have not had any success with this. And there are other sprays, Mite Off or Mite Away, that are sold by Reptile Basics and the company out of New York. I can't think of their name, Herp something. I just never had any luck with those, and I've followed instructions to the T, and I continue to have mites. Okay? So, that said, I don't like it. I may catch a lot of hell for that. I don't care. This is kind of a up-and-coming method for me. I've just recently heard, I've seen people do it. I've seen people have success with it. This is just a frontline spray, mainly for dogs and cats for fleas, but it does work on the mites. There again, it works to a certain extent. I don't think it has the residual to take care of future infestations. With all this methods here, you do want to make sure that you treat everything. Okay, I have a little bit larger area than most. If you have 1 or 2 snakes, it makes it super easy to treat for this, but when you have a lot, you got to go with what works for you. This may work for you, the Permethrin 2, the Frontline may work for you. There again, these are 2, 3, 4 items, 5 that I tossed aside, that introduce the chemicals to your animal. I'm not saying that they harm them. I don't want the text or the post coming that, I've been using this for so many years and I've never lost a snake. I get it. I do. If it works for you, that's great. I'm here to show you that there are several options, and then I'm going to show you what works for me, which we're getting to shortly. Again, the front line, you spray the snake, you spray the enclosure. When you spray the enclosure, you don't want to put the animal in right away. Let those fumes kind of dissipate and circulate out of the enclosure, and then you can put the animal back in. So we have gone through 5 chemical-based treatments for snake mites. Again, no success at all. Don't like the harsh chemicals. That one's out. Okay. Permethrin 2, it is manufactured for the placement on animals and enclosures. It does say it's good for poultry, swine, sheep, dairy cattle, beef, and horses. So it is a viable method, and we do mix it to a lower concentrate to where it is good for, safe for your animals. That said, it is a chemical introduction to your animals. I'm not real crazy about it, but I deal with chemicals every day, so I kind of look at that side. Again, I'm not bashing anybody that uses this method, especially Mr. Hartle. He seems to have a lot of success with it. He is a very intelligent snake keeper and breeder, so I will take his word for it. However, I choose to go a different route. All right, the front line, lots of chemicals. Anything that I have to wait for it to dissipate or clear out of an enclosure to place the animal back, not gonna like it. Which brings me to the final method. This is old school, people. If you are a breeder or someone who's been in the snake industry for a long time, and let me clear one thing up, I am not a breeder, I am a collector. My knowledge does not even come close to some of these people in the United States who breed these animals, have been doing it for a long time. I'm just trying to see, maybe this might help for you as well. All right, getting to it. This is extra virgin olive oil. It is a natural oil. You get it at Walmart. I think this was the cheaper brand, and I think this was $5. You can get those little Pompeii extra virgin olive oils. I think they're 11 or 12 bucks. If you're rubbing it on snakes, and that's not a metaphor, this is perfect. Okay. So, to go with the method, and it just so happens I do have one that I'm battling mites with, and we're going to go ahead and treat the entire section today, but just to give you an idea of what to do. Extra virgin olive oil, basically what it does is you coat the animal with the oil, and it smothers the mites, and it does not allow future hatchlings to get on the animal. Not to mention, it gives the snake a really nice glistening glow for added bonus. Basically all you do, take a little bit of olive oil, put it in a little tray, just like that. Alright? And be sure you put the lid back on, because when the snake's out here and you're trying to do that, you knock that over, it makes hell for carpet. Alright, I'm going to grab the animal in question and I'll go through it and show you what to do. Now, this is Natasha. She is a normal reticulated python. For some reason, we've tried these other methods and nothing seemed to work. So I'm going back to old school. This is a method that I used way back when. Some of your darker animals, you're not going to be able to tell if they have mites or not. So what you want to do is just take your hand and just rub down the animal and check your hand, and you can see if you got mites, little black spots. Okay, as far as treatment, take your whole hand, place it down in the olive oil, and run it down your snake. Making sure you get a coating from the head, boom, all the way down the body. Now, since this is a natural oil, guess what? We don't have to worry about waiting for the enclosure to breathe. We don't have to wait for the chemical to dry. We just put it on there and put her back in. Once you've cleaned the enclosure, of course. All right, you're going to want to reapply, get all of it real heavy on her. And she's going to help you too by running through your hands, and that gives you a way to spread that olive oil all over. Now what I'm doing, if there's any mites under her scales, they're suffocated. They're not going to make it much longer. And after you do this, after about 3 days, you're going to go in there to your new substrate that you put in, and you're going to see a bunch of dead little black specks, which is exactly what I want to see. All right. That is it. There is no reapplying in 2 weeks. There is no, like I said, waiting for the enclosure to breathe. There is no, taking the water out or anything. This is it. And since I started back with this method, it has worked wonders. I still have a few that I'm dealing with, such as this one. And I have been mite-free for quite a while once I went back with this. But like I said, if you raise snakes for long enough, you're going to deal with it. Maybe it's a mistake on my part. If I knew what it was, please tell me, so I don't have to do this crap every time. All right, once you got that fully loaded on there, you can tell. Look how pretty she is now. She's glistening. All right, that's it. Usually when you put this application, you'll already see mites coming off on the hand. This stuff works, guys. And it works without chemicals. That's what I like the most. So, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please write them down below. Please like the video. I'm in the process of trying to get some more subscribers, so if you like it, tell your friends. Tell them to subscribe. We'll try to make some pretty regular videos on here to try to help you guys out. I've watched several, so I've had people help me. I'm just trying to spread the wealth. So, like I said, any questions, let me know. Hope you have a good day. If you're in the snow, smack somebody in the face with a snowball for me, because I really do miss snow. And I hope you have a great day. Peace out.